Okay, so we're going to move from the humerus down to the forearm. And here we have two bones. We have the radius and we have, if I can get it, the ulna. And students often mix these up. So the radius is the lateral bone and the ulna is the medial bone. I like to start with the ulna. So I'm going to try to isolate that. All right, cool. Now, easy way to remember the ulna. Ulna starts with what letter? U. Check out that U right there. Right? This bone literally tells you its name. Ulna. Okay, so at the anterior end. So the ulna here on the anterior end articulates with the humerus, forming what's called a hinge joint because it's shaped sort of like a hinge. So let's focus first on these two projections up here. This projection here is called the coronoid process. So we have that U, and one end of that U is the coronoid process, and the other end of that U, which, by the way, is your elbow, is the olecranon process. So here we have the coronoid process, and here we have the olecranon process. The olecranon process fits into the olecranon fossa of the humerus, and the coronoid process fits into the coronoid fossa of the humerus. So if I go back, right, so here we have, this is the coronoid process fitting into the coronoid fossa. Excuse me, that's the olecranon process fitting into the olecranon fossa. And on the anterior side, we have the coronoid process fitting into the coronoid fossa, which you really can't see here. Okay, the surface of the U is called the trochlear notch. That surface there is called the trochlear notch, and it fits around the trochlea of the humerus. All right, so it fits around the trochlea there of the humerus. So that's the proximal end of the ulna. Let's go to the distal end. Distal end, really only two features you have to know. One, this little projection here, it sort of looks a little bit like a small cat's claw. That is the styloid process. And you can feel the styloid process. If you take your hand and put it palm up, and then on the pinky side, right at your wrist, you can feel the styloid process. That's that little rounded projection on your wrist there. It's the styloid process of the ulna. This rounded feature here is simply called the head. Okay, this is the head of the ulna. A head is a condyle on a narrow neck. If you move slightly proximal, you'll see it narrows a little bit there before you hit that head. Okay, so let's center that and go back to the anterior view. All right, so let's start up here again. Olecranon process, which is your elbow. Coronoid process, The surface is the trochlear notch. Moving distally, we have the styloid process, and we have the head of the ulna.